Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Meaningful Monday. I'm quite flabbergasted that it's already September. I cannot believe how quickly this year has gone. Anyway, here we are. Thank you to everyone who's joined. We've got a nice group already here this evening. Some more people usually come on once we begin. So just welcome back to everybody who's been here before. Appreciate you guys coming back. And then to the new people, very warm welcome. Meaningful Monday is just a free webinar that I do on the beginning of every month, the first Monday of every month. And it's just really just to choose a different topic every time, raise people's awareness, realize that we do create our own reality. None of us are victims here. So we may as well get out of the blame game as early as possible in life to achieve success. Because as long as we blame other people for anything, doesn't matter what it is, if you blame other people for anything in your life, you'll never really be successful and you'll never achieve what your dreams are. You'll never achieve what you want to achieve. So that's the premise. So tonight I'm going to be talking about success. This is actually a very different Meaningful Monday. I've never, ever try to put a corporate angle or a job angle into Meaningful Monday before, and I've been doing this since 2017. So we're going on 7 full years now, every single month. This is the first time I've looked at a topic to do with job. Your job, whether it's you're self-employed or whether you're an employee, it doesn't matter. Even if you're not in a job, but you're in a relationship or you're in a family, then this will still apply. So when I talk about success being the other stuff, yes, I'm going to talk about the other stuff. And what I mean by the other stuff is the stuff that hardly gets any training if you're in corporate. And I was in corporate for 20 years. So I am qualified to speak about corporate. At one stage, I thought I was a corporate junkie for life. And then my life took a different turn when my brother passed on. And I became serious about doing what I wanted to do to make me feel fulfilled. And that's how I eventually found the courage to leave using the Silver Method and follow my dream. So here I am going to share the other side of success. I'm not talking about hard skills, so let's just get into it. Success is the sum. Sorry, that is spelled wrong. I do apologize. That looks better. Okay, is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. And it is true. So many of you will know this that I'm going to share. You absolutely probably have heard it before. And the point is not what you know. The point is what you apply. The biggest gap in the world, John Maxwell says, is the gap between what we know and what we do. So there are two areas in which job success is determined. One is in your technical expertise. So that's how you program a computer or how you write a report or how you do the accounting function or how you do sales, whatever. That's your actual technical skill. The other side to success is what I'm talking about tonight. It's the other stuff. This is really to do with a person's attitude. This is to do with how you conduct yourself, the kind of behaviors that you exhibit in the workplace day in and day out on a consistent basis. It's making the best effort to become the best version of yourself, even if you're in a job right now that you're not happy or that you don't even like. Before you move on to something else that you think is going to be better for you, we have to become willing, no matter where we are and what we're doing, to always focus on the day in and day out of being our absolute best. So this is what I'm going to cover off tonight. Is a long list here. I'll go through them briefly and then sum it up at the end. And just to tell you, this other stuff that I'm talking about is often not in training. I didn't find much of it in my corporate life. So the first thing is to perform with ethics and integrity. So I just cannot say this enough. I'm sure all of you are full of ethics and integrity. However, I'm talking about right down to the very one penny honest about absolutely everything that you do and that you say. We have to perform in the workplace with a high level of integrity. And this even includes being honest about things that we discuss or how we feel in situations. But most importantly, how we behave. A lot of people in corporate, I know this sounds really corny and it's a real overused example, But you know, they say that, do you steal the paper clips? Yes. Do you take paper home? Do you print a lot of personal stuff off the corporate printer when you know you should really print that kind of stuff at home? So it's really being a person who values themselves enough to perform and act with ethics and integrity. So it's always about, before you take any action, is to think before you act. Is it what the company would like you to do if they found out that you were doing it? Are you absolutely comfortable deep down in your bones with any behavior that you ever take? You know, would you do what you're doing in the workplace with the person closest to you in your life? And if the answer is no, then don't do it at work. And with the most ethical person that you know, do that thing. So that's really important. There's just an old saying that says honesty is the best policy, and it always is. We cannot get ahead in life and succeed if we somehow steal from life. So I always say this. I know that Nancy also says this. I always say, people never steal from me because I don't steal from life. I have lost my handbag. I'm not joking. Probably more than 50 times in the last 10 years. I've always got it back. It's always got my wallet in it. The money's always been in it and all my bank cards. I've never, ever been robbed in that way. So if you steal from life, life will steal from you. So give to life and deal with ethics and integrity always, and you'll be treated exactly the same way. The next one is, no matter if you own your own business or you don't, you act like the owner. So what does it mean to act like the owner? Well, you got to act like you own the place. And I don't mean when you own the place, you can do what you want, however you want, you know, just, you know, be like reckless and ruthless. I'm not talking like that. I'm talking about that you care about everything that you do in the business, and you care how you do it. You care about every customer that you interact with. You care about the money in the business, how you handle the money in the business as if it was your money. So the best way to do it is to imagine that you have to pay the rent, you have to pay all the expenses, you have to pay all the salaries, you have to pay everything. And now you go about your daily job. You need to care on what we do with the money, how we spend it wisely. When we're dealing with customers, treat those customers as if they were gold. Every service that you offer, every product needs to be dealt with the highest level of quality. So act like it's your money, act like it's your equipment, look after the things that you are given at work. Time, also, you know, value the time that you put in. So if you do that, you'll always be successful. The next two is what we call the big two. The big two applies in your personal life as well as in your work life. If you're in your personal life and you want to be wealthier, you've got only two choices to be wealthier. You can either earn more or you can spend less. Because if you earn the exact same money, but you reduced your expenses, you would be wealthier. If you can't reduce your expenses, well, then you need to earn more. So it's the same when you're at work. The big two things you always got to focus on is, how can we generate more income, make more sales, and how can we reduce costs? And it doesn't matter if you're working for a profitable company or a non-for-profit, it's exactly the same. The goal is always to increase revenues. There was a saying, I don't know if it was in the book Good to Great, but there was a company's philosophy was, no matter what problem an employee brought the boss, his answer was always increase sales. And it's true. You can have any problem in business, but if you can increase sales and you know how to increase sales, you don't have any problems, because you can ride the storm no matter what's going on, as long as you're generating enough income. Companies don't go bankrupt because they don't make a profit. Companies go bankrupt because they run out of cash flow. So cash flow is king. So when you're thinking about spending money in a business, always think about how you can spend the money but reduce the costs, whether you got better priced suppliers, whether you got some cost saving ideas, whether there's areas and ways in which you can reduce waste. Think of it as if it's your own business, and always be a person who thinks that way about how to increase revenue and decrease costs. The next one is look your best. Now, that might be a bit silly for some people, thinking, well, really, how does that relate? Well, there's a saying, they say people dress for success. So there is something about not looking your best only because you look more presentable, but a person also feels more confident and they feel a higher level of self-respect when they do look their best. There's no doubt that we kind of behave differently when you wear a tracksuit all day versus if you get dressed up in a suit. I'm not saying you have to dress in a suit, but I am saying before you leave to go to work, or even if you're working at home, look in the mirror and tell me, does the person that you see in the mirror give you a sense of self-respect? I went to a networking function years and years ago when I first started working for myself. And this guy is actually the biggest meetup individual in the whole of Australia. So he's a successful coach. And he said he works from home every day. He gets dressed up as if he's going to an office. It helps him perform better. So it does matter how we dress. I remember years ago, I went to a fancy dress party and it was called um, Lady and the Tramp. So you could either dress up as a lady or you could dress up as a tramp. And I remember there were a whole lot of people who went as a tramp. And I'm telling you, they behaved differently just because of the way they were dressed up for a fancy dress party. They were behaving like tramps, to be quite honest. So your clothes do affect your self-image, your self-confidence, your self-respect, your self-esteem, and how you show up. It also affects how people perceive you. You can just think, top of your mind, are there people in life that whenever you see them, they really look great? They always look their best. And then people who never do. And you just got an impression about the person. So you want to give people a good impression, make sure that you're neat, you're clean, take pride in your appearance, and check yourself out before you start your day. Okay, this one you think might not relate to success. How does think health relate to success? Well, they go hand in hand. So we need to not only get healthy, we do need to get healthy. If you're not healthy, then make that your goal, that you actually start today to make a decision in your life to get healthy. And if you are healthy, then make it a priority that you stay healthy. So healthy people are typically more vibrant, they've got more energy, they've got more drive, they've got a better focus, they experience less stress, especially when people exercise. They also have less days off work. They don't feel as tired as people who are unfit. So to be honest, when it comes in the workplace, health is actually a competitive advantage. If you work for yourself, it's even more important to be healthy. It honestly is a competitive advantage because if you don't feel your best, you can't bring your best to your business. So health go hand in hand, and success, health and success. And there's definitely a connection between the mind, the body, and the spirit. So make sure when you talk about health that you meditate regularly, that you keep your mind clear, calm, focused, as well as things like exercise, diet, eating healthy. We all know if we have a really bad meal and drink too much and have too much fatty foods, how lethargic and crappy we feel, not only the day we ate that, but the following day as well. Like around Christmas time, we just eat too much. So think about that. If you want to be at your best, then we need to be particularly focused on our health. And the funny thing is, when people take care of their health, they tend to take care of everything else in their life better. Okay, the next one, which is something that not everybody tends to do, is to ask for feedback. So I'm not saying you ask for feedback every minute of the day, but at least once a month, if you're not getting feedback, ask someone. If you work for a boss, ask your boss, how am I doing? If you work for yourself, then ask someone you trust how you're doing. And some really good questions are these two. You may want to write them down. What one or two things can I do to be more successful? It's a really good question. And the other one is, what can I do to serve you better in the future? Interesting question. I don't know if anyone thinks that way, but in leadership, so I'm a John Maxwell team member. John Maxwell's the world's #1 leadership author. He always says, if you want to be a better leader, you need to have more influence. And to gain more influence, you need to add value to people. You don't get influence through the negative things like manipulation or that kind of thing. No, powering up over people. No. You get more influence because you add value to people. That's why great leaders, people do anything for them. Why? Because that leader adds value to the people. So when you ask for feedback, one of the questions should be, how can I serve you better in the future? How can I add more value? There's a guy I know, he's the president of the John Maxwell team. His name's Chris Robinson. Chris's personal story is one of the most inspiring stories I ever heard of a guy on stage. And he explained the story of how he got promoted like so quickly in a new organization. And he had this habit of going to the boss and saying, what's on your plate that I can do for you? What is it on your plate that you can take off your plate and I'll handle for you? That's all he ever did. And you think about it, put yourself in the boss's shoes. You'd love an employee like that. You'd love them. And you'd say, sure, do this, do that. And then the boss realized this guy's capable. He picks up more stuff than he needs to, and he's helping me. So the minute there was an opportunity for someone to go a step ahead, obviously he was the first one top of mind of the people around him. So make sure that you do ask for feedback. And when you get the feedback, make sure to thank the person. And if some of the feedback is not positive, it's constructive, and they tell you, well, you could do this better, and I don't really like when you do that, don't get into a defensive argument. Just swallow it and say, thank you. Thank you for giving me that feedback, and go and think about it, reflect on it. If it's true, fix it. If you don't think it's true, then maybe you need to understand why that person gave you that feedback, and that's an opportunity. All right, the next one is, I know we all think that we're continuously learning, but I'm talking about keep learning above and beyond. So the world we live in today is a highly changing environment. If people think that once you've left school or done a course or got a degree and got the job that you're in, that's all you need to do to really remain successful, you've got to be kidding. You've got to keep learning. And I'm talking about serious investment in yourself all the time. Not when there's a need or they tell you that you've got a skills problem. No. Keep learning all the time. It's the fastest way to have job success. And if you don't do it, it's the fastest way to bring your career to a grinding halt, basically. So if you've got the mindset that you already know everything that you need to know at your work, no matter what you're doing, no matter what job you're in, no matter how long, if it's your own business, you've had it, if you think that you know everything you need to know, I'm sorry to tell you, you have a problem. Even if you've got a gardening and landscaping business, you think, I know everything about gardening, I know everything about... No, I'm telling you, you could go on a course tomorrow and learn a whole lot of new things. So always keep learning. Never stop learning. Look around you. Look at where there are changes in your industry, changes in your business. Look if there are new products on the market or new processes on how to execute things or new technologies in your field, whatever it is. So keep up and make sure that you don't get all stale and dusty. Another thing is to consider at least once a year to do a proper course. Invest in a course every year of your life. Doesn't matter if the course is in your personal development or in your skills development or in your mindset development or even in your managing of your stress. It doesn't matter. But invest in a course at least once a year. But keep learning and keep growing. The next one is respect. Right. We need to give respect to people and we need to earn respect. So basically there's two kinds of respect. The one is everyone deserves to have respect just because you're a human being, and we need to respect everybody. They are equally important. We know that there are no people better than other people. Respect everyone. That's the one. But the other one is actually earning respect. So to earn respect is something else than your right to be respected as a human being. And to earn respect, it's about your actions and how you conduct yourself consistently. So basically, for all those things on the screen, including and especially respect, you may want to write this quote down. Never underestimate the compounding effect of consistency. So if you treated people with respect most of the time, and then every now and then you just were so freaking disrespectful, you lost your crap with them, and ruined it or betrayed people or were dishonest, or like you just lose respect in a heartbeat and you cannot get it back. So especially if you're in a leadership position, it's even more important. So there's an acronym here that I'm going to put on the screen. The R for respect. Recognize the inherent worth of all human beings. The E, eliminate derogatory words about anybody, whether they're present or absent. The next one is the S. Speak with people. Don't speak at people like they're lower than you or demeaning. And don't speak for sure about people. One of the worst things is to be known as the one who gossips. And trust me, you can't have a best friend who gossips, because they will be gossiping about you. Don't ever think that they confide in you and you're the only one they confide in, but they gossip about other people else. No, they'll be gossiping about you too. So don't engage in that. Help people who do gossip stop doing it. Just really encourage them to just stop doing it and become a person who's known that doesn't want to do that with people. The next one of the P is practice empathy. Definitely put yourself in other people's shoes. Then earn respect from your behavior. Do the right thing the right way every time and treat everybody the right way. Now, in the C, consider other people's feelings before speaking or before acting. Let me just tell you, one of the worst ways to break trust or to lose your influence as a leader, whether that's in your family, because we are leaders, everyone's a leader because you're influencing people, or in your workplace, it's to behave as if you don't care about people's feelings. So I hope it hasn't happened to you, but if you've been in an environment where retrenchments were going down, many people have probably been in that environment, you know it's so different when you are handled correctly versus when you are handled without any care, without anyone's feeling like they don't even treat you like a person. They just treat you like a number. It's the worst feeling ever. So always consider people's feelings. If you need to give someone constructive feedback, there's a way of doing it. If you crap all over someone, you can't expect them to want to improve to be better for you. But if you were candid and caring when you delivered that feedback, you'd earn more respect and more influence. So you start with the conversation saying, I'm having this conversation with you because I really care about our working relationship and I care about your success in the team. So this is something I'd like to discuss with you. And then you give them the candid, honest feedback. And then you give them something positive and saying, look, going forward, I really hope that, that we see an improvement and, you're a valued member of the team and whatever it is that you're saying. So you leave that person with a sense of dignity. And you can only do that if you handle it with care. So always care about people's feelings before you speak to them and definitely before you take any action. And then the last one, the T, treat everyone with dignity. Okay, the next one is avoid success-killing phrases. Here are some phrases that don't do anyone any justice and they won't help you forward your career, and they are terrible cop-outs. So the first one is, it's not my job. Never say that, ever. Another one is, it's not my problem. I was sitting in a reception one day at a client's office, big company, and the wind blew the bollards outside down into the car park. They had bollards there, some signs or something. And someone came in and told the receptionist that they'd fallen down. And in front of me, and I'm standing in reception there, I heard her say, oh no, that's not my problem. I'm only here on reception. And I thought, I would firstly never hire a person who said that or behaved that way. And what makes a person say that? So never be that person, please, that says that's not my problem. The lady today, who's the CEO of IBM, her name's Carly Fiorini. She wrote a book. She was on stage with John Maxwell when I was at the John Maxwell team the 1 year. And that woman tells a story of how she went from being a PA, casual, to becoming the CEO of IBM. Do you know what she said? No matter where she worked, she looked for the problems and she went about solving them, whether they were her problems, her job, her area, or someone else's. If she saw a problem, she went about correcting it. So the phrase, it's not my problem, is one of the biggest success-killing phrases ever. The next one is, everyone else does it. No, that doesn't mean it's right. The next one is, that will never work. it's so frustrating. If anyone here have got a team of people and you in charge of a team and you hear that come out of the team's mouth, that will never work. Any new idea, something you want to pull your hair out. So never say that'll never work. Say, we don't know. Let's test it. That's what you say. Let's find out. Test the thing. We can only know if we try. The next one, we've tried that before. Even worse. Do you know that there are some cycles and trends that, yes, sometimes they come out a bit too early and they don't work initially, but you just wait a while and then you try those things again and they absolutely take off like wildfire. Well, to say we've tried that before and it didn't work doesn't mean it doesn't always work. The other one is we've always done it that way. Terrible success killing phrase. That means you don't want to change, you don't want to grow, you're not willing to try and improve. We've always done it that way. Well, maybe there's a better way of doing something. And that's what we want, is to have a focus on continual improvement and continually doing things a different way. And what way is that? It's a better way. The next one is it doesn't matter. So if I said, well, it doesn't matter, I question that. Someone asked Paul Martinelli, he's my mentor, and he did start the John Maxwell team. And he's the man who inspired me to teach Think and Grow Rich. And those of you who did my Think and Grow Rich masterclass heard his name many, many times. Paul Martinelli, if you ask him, so what matters? What matters? Paul says everything matters. He's actually got a course. He runs a course called Everything Matters, because everything matters. How you do anything, how you do everything, it always matters. So never say it doesn't matter. The next one is, oh no, that's good enough. Let's just put that forward and carry on to something else. It can't be good enough. Is that your best work? I know sometimes it's like we're tired, it's a bit of a long day, you want to get something done. No. Is it your best work? Even in the 4 Agreements, that wonderful book, one of the agreements is always do your best. Even if you dislike your job, do your best until your very last day, until you leave. Don't think, oh no, that's good enough. The next success killing phrase is someone else will do it. That's the problem with litter. Litter in this world is that very sentence. Someone else will pick it up. Well, one of the greatest things you can do to change your mindset is to pick up litter when you go for a walk. Just take a black bag with you, take a glove, and go for a walk. If you go for a walk just for exercise, pick up other people's litter. It helps a person change their arrogance to one of servanthood without expecting anything in return. No one's going to thank you. No one's going to pay you. Well, the earth might thank you, but not verbally. But no one's going to give you an accolade or recognition. But it's that attitude that's generous, and it's an attitude that goes towards success. So no, someone else will do it. You do it. The other one is, I don't need any help. Look, success doesn't happen alone. It always happens in relation with other people. The next thing is, I know everything I need to know. That John Maxwell calls destination disease. When we think this is, I've arrived, I've got the title, I've got the position, I'm in this really, director's level or whatever position, and I'm there, and I know everything I need to know. You are, how can I say, 1, a sitting time bomb because you're not continuously learning, and 2, no longer an asset, actually, if you think you know everything about what you're doing, because you can always learn more and you can always improve. The next one is about gossip. Rumor has it that. Don't be that person. The next one is I don't care. Worse. The most important thing is to care. In leadership, John Maxwell says, people don't care how much you know. They don't care until they know how much you care about them. So people don't care how much you know. You can have all the degrees, all the knowledge, all the experience in the world. If you came into a new leadership position, the team, when they see the new leader, they really don't care what the leader knows until they know how much the leader cares. So no matter where you are, whether it's in your family, whether it's in your circle, whether it's in your workplace, in your own business, or you're an employee, always care more. Care more than the person next to you, you'll be more successful than them. as a business, care more in your business than the person who does the same thing as you in their business, you'll be successful, more successful. The next one, I just do what I'm told. I don't know what to say about that. It's one of my worst. It's one of my worst on that whole list. Is that I just do what I'm told is one of the worst. For me, that's one of the worst things. It tells me you do not want to think. You do not want to use your own brain. You do not want to use initiative to improve the place. You'll only do what you're told because the person who only does what they're told is only doing the bare minimum. So even when we did the Think and Grow Rich Masterclass, there was a whole section there on I spoke about the law of economics. The law of economics says that you have to give to get. It's the same as the law of sowing and reaping. You only reap what you sow. So you only get what you give. So if you only give the bare minimum, do not expect more in life in any area, not in the workplace, in any area, in your finances, in your relationships, in your love life, in your friendships, in your spirituality. So always don't do what you're told, do much more than that. And always think like the boss, think like you own the place and have innovative ideas, ways to improve things. Always come up with, hey, I've got an idea. Let's try this, make things better. The next one, I just put in my time and then I get out of here. The 9 to 5 mindset. The 9 to 5 mindset is the same as the one before. It's doing the bare minimum. It honestly is. Everyone's paid to do the 9 to 5. That's really not the way to become successful. That's average. John Maxwell says he hates the word average. He's got a whole speech on it. In fact, it's in a chapter on one of his books in leadership, the Developing the Leader Within You. He's got a whole section in there on in attitude and average is a disease. So never be average. Always be your best. And the last one, they don't pay me enough to do that. What does that mean? They don't pay you enough to do what? It doesn't matter what it is. It's not about how much you're being paid to do. It's what kind of person are you? If you're a person of value, you will be paid more. You will go up in life. You will succeed. The people who succeed in life and go up and up non-stop, they don't do what they're paid to do. They do way more than that. I've been a boss when I was in corporate for all my corporate 20 years. I started as a student out of a TEL school in a managerial position. So my whole life I had employees. And I can tell you, the ones you promote aren't the ones who do what they're paid to do. You don't promote those people. You promote people who do way more than they're paid to do. So be that person. Even if you work for yourself, be that person. So I love that. There's a whole list there of success killing phrases. Okay, let's carry on to the other stuff. There's a bit more here. So don't whine. So let me just turn the page on. Yep, don't whine and don't spread negativity. That is way too common in the workplace. People love to complain. And just to tell you, in most companies, bad things happen from time to time. Retrenchments happened more often than I can think in areas that I've been. And then people tend to all get together around the coffee station or whatever, and they're all talking in negative ways. And I remember in my last corporate job, there was a whole series of retrenchments happening without notice. Suddenly, out of the, people were blindsided, and people were really getting a bit nervous, a bit down, and quite negative. And I just joined the John Maxwell team at that time. And I remember John Maxwell was saying, instead of being the person in the workplace who whines and complains, be the person in the workplace that brings that positivity that everybody wants. Be that fountain from which other people can drink. And that's when I was inspired to the John Maxwell team to run free masterminds. And I started to do that. So I ran free mastermind after hours. And the people that were in the mastermind doesn't mean it's the whole office. It could have been just 10 people. But you know what? They were more inspired. They felt happier. And we spread that positivity. So each one went back to their places for the rest of the week. And they were a little bit more inspired because they were learning, they were growing. And all John Maxwell's books are about improving ourselves in every way and our attitude. So in that way, it's bringing a positive energy even if the workplace is in a negative state. Don't become the person who joins the pity party and continues to spread that negativity, and definitely don't be one who gossips. And when it comes to talking about people behind their back, it doesn't matter what it's about. Just try your best not to do that. If you've got a problem with someone, go to tell the person to their face, and do it in a way that's respectful and a way that's showing your concern to help that person improve, not to embarrass them or to belittle them. But definitely don't talk about people behind their back. Okay, next is keep your commitments. This is also one of the in the four agreements in that book. It says, keep your word. Definitely keep your commitments. Keep your word. That's part of your character. So if you make a promise, make sure that you're going to keep that promise. Think about these words and do these words resonate with you absolutely 100%, or is the area to improve? Words like trustworthy, reliable, dependable. Do those words describe you? There's got to be a resounding yes. If we want to be successful, and if that's not who we are today, that's everything that we've got to work towards. Doesn't matter how old you are. We can all become more reliable, more dependable, and more trustworthy. And let me tell you, trustworthy is a huge badge to wear, because it takes consistency over your lifetime to become a trustworthy individual. It's not something you do now and then and hope to earn it. No, it's that consistent behavior time and time again. The next thing is don't make promises lightly. Don't tell people, I'll see you, I'll call you, I'll do that, if you don't mean it. If you don't mean it, don't say it. Don't say, oh, but no, don't say it. Don't tell a person, okay, I'll see you around, I'll call you sometime, and don't mean it. If you say that, call them. If you say, I'll see you soon, make sure you pick up the phone, make it a date, and go and see the person. Otherwise, don't say it. You don't owe anybody anything, but you do owe them your word. So if you don't want to see them or call them, then don't say it. But don't make promises that you don't keep. The small things people notice. I'm one who notices that. It's not a big commitment. It's not like this big commitment and then you don't make that. No. I'm talking about the small commitments. If you look after the small commitments, the rest will be taken care of on their own. And when you do make a commitment, whatever you do, make sure that you make good on them. The next one is exceed expectations. Absolutely. So if I were limited to passing along only 2 guidelines for job success, only 2, there's no question, it would be these. 1, know what's expected of you. And 2, exceed those expectations. That's all you need to do. Look for every opportunity to exceed expectations. Look for opportunities to go the extra mile. Think of how you can be extra special on whatever you're doing. The next one goes in hand with the one after that. Volunteer and show initiative. So put your hand up to help. People always notice people who want to help. In the leadership programs of John Maxwell, the one thing he says, when something's happening and people need help, be the person who raises their hand and says, how may I help? And even when 95% of the people don't help, they're only asking for some volunteers, you be the one. So the other one is to put yourself in your boss's shoes just for a minute. And who would you likely identify as a rising star? An employee who just does what he's absolutely supposed to do, or one who's always looking for additional ways to contribute? It's a no-brainer. It's always the one who's showing how they can give more, do more, improve the place. So that's when it comes to that negative phrase, eliminate the language is not my job, absolutely, from your thoughts and from your vocabulary. The next one is be a team player. We hear that a lot, but do we really behave that way? The only way I can think of is it's like a sport. That's how it is at work. If you think about a sport and how a goal is ever scored, The person who actually needs the credit for a scored goal is the one who passes it to the shooter. They actually need the credit because they didn't try and go and win that for their own accolade. They passed it on and someone else got the credit and someone else got the glory. But that person actually made it happen. And that's what being a team player is. So are you a team player at work? Everyone knows that feeling of when you're in a team and you need help and you don't feel like you got it, you got everything that you need, but someone's there and they step in and say, hey, I can help you and I can do this. And that's what helping you succeed. Well, turn it the other way around and be that person to help other people succeed. And don't think, oh no, I just need to do my part as a team player and they must do all theirs. How about being the team player who is that one that always adds value? So, besides doing your load, be considerate of others, be cooperative as much as you can, communicate as well as you can, and be willing to do things that are needed to help the whole team succeed. The next one is put customers first. Sometimes I hear people very strangely complain about that they've got the customers are the customers are keeping them out of work. Very strange thought. The customers pay the bills, so always put the customer first. And I come from South Africa. I don't know if it happened in Australia, but during the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s, customer service was in every single company. Maybe it was the culture there because we had a very strange, diverse culture with many different nationalities, and not all of them have had an attitude of serving. So customer service was really, very high. And I remember when I worked in the biggest retailer in South Africa, one of the company's values was the customer is always right. And that means even when the customer is wrong, the customer is still always right. In other words, we give the customer the benefit of the doubt. They're not happy with something, don't get into an argument about right or wrong. Just make them right and make them leave happy. Some people don't agree with me on this. We can argue till, the cows come home. But that's my philosophy. If you think to yourself, if the bank messed up your money and just suddenly half your money was out of your bank and you went to the bank and they started arguing with you, how absolutely irate and infuriated you'd get, and you couldn't wait to close the account, get all your money and go to another bank. However, if the very same thing happened and the bank went out of their way in apologizing, making you right and them wrong and fixing the situation, plus some, you not only would stay with them, you tell everybody about it and like them even more. So it's not actually what happens, it's how you deal with what happens. And that's what we mean when we say put the customer first. The next one is contribute to other people's success. This is in leadership, what we talk about adding value to others all the time, seeing how you can make someone else succeed. If you ever see someone struggling somehow, some way, and you know what you're doing and you got the skills and you're doing just great and you're so successful and they're not as successful as you, don't sit by and watch them and think, gee, I'm glad that's not me. No, take your skills, take your talent, go over to that person and help them succeed. I have to tell you the story because of one of my favorite stories. When I was in corporate and I was running those free masterminds, we came to the chapter, we were doing the book, John Maxwell's book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And we were on law number 5. It says it's the law of addition. And it says we need to intentionally add value to others. And if you're not adding value to others, you are by default a subtractor. And subtractors never succeed. So in the mastermind group, we all had a challenge that week to go out and add value to others with our talents and gifts. So to share them and help others. There was this guy in our team. He was Chinese. And he said in his culture, it's very competitive. And if we have a competitive advantage, we don't go give that skill away and just share it with other people because otherwise, we lose that competitive advantage. So he didn't want to do the challenge. So I said to him, please do me a favor. I understand what you're saying, and I understand this is a cultural thing. Can you just try this? So in what way are you concerned? So then he was saying, well, he knows he's the best. I was working for Nielsen, who did analytics. He was the best at using the software, doing the analysis, getting the insights, for sure, head and shoulders above his team. So he didn't want to share what he'd learned and invested in himself in getting there. Anyway, after a huge amount of encouragement, finally twisted his rubbery arm and he agreed. We came back the next week and asked the people, how did you go? I'd never seen a change in a person. He said it was the best week he'd ever had at work. He felt so inspired. I said, why? I said he doesn't know. When he was helping the other team members, they were so grateful. They were so thankful. He had such a feeling of purpose. So he changed completely. The best of it is, several months later, at the end of the year, this young guy, he won Executive of the Year award. And I just remember at the time them saying, the MD was saying he was the youngest guy who ever won Executive of the Year. And when they read out a little thing about him and why he won the award, the one thing they said was he goes out of his way to help people in his team succeed. It's not his job. He just takes his talents and his expertise and helps other people succeed. Do you know that it changed his life that one time he practiced? So be that person who helps other people succeed. Contribute to other people's success, whether they are your peers, whether they are your employees, especially if they're your employees as a leader, but even upwards, lead up and contribute to your boss's success if you have a boss. The next one is take responsibility. Okay, this means take responsibility for yourself. So I just want to say that unless someone's holding a gun to your head, every single thing you do is a choice. So take responsibility. Get out of the blame game once and for all. Do not make excuses once and for all. If you mess up, own it. Everything that you do is a choice. Choose how you conduct yourself. You choose how you treat other people. You cannot blame someone for how you treated someone if you ever got into trouble for it or didn't please someone. You choose your own attitude. You choose how you respond to stress. You choose how you respond to adversity. You choose your level of honesty and integrity. You choose whether you take personal responsibility or whether you don't and shrink back from it. But to be successful, we have to take 100% responsibility for all our results. Never blaming, never having a negative attitude, and ever pointing a finger, because we own our attitude. In fact, in the book, Developing the Leader Within You, the chapter, one of the 10 principles in that book is attitude. John Maxwell says it's the one thing you cannot blame anyone for, you own it. So bring the right attitude, a positive attitude every day, one of respect, one of positivity, one of caring, one of help, one of innovation, one of improvement. Always be that person. So take responsibility for yourself and for your choices. Okay, just in closing thoughts, succeeding at work is mostly a matter of common sense combined with healthy portions of commitment and self-discipline. So all the things I mentioned, you may tell me I know them, and even I can say I know them. Even myself, do I practice all of these all the time? I hope so, but probably not. Even I need to have that level of commitment and that level of self-discipline to just be more self-aware. The next one is, the fact is, it's not that hard to achieve job success as long as you use your head and are willing to invest a little sweat equity. That means we can't just be doing the bare minimum. We do need to work hard. There's nothing more rewarding than going the extra mile, not because you have to, because you are that kind of person. Because you add value where you go. You get a sense of self-esteem. You get a sense of just, you are better. So you being better. And where you go, you make things better. That's what we call sweat equity. Yes, the company does benefit when you do well, but you are the primary beneficiary of your own success. You are the person whose reputation is enhanced. And you are the person who gets to feel that great feeling of self-respect and self-esteem. You are the one whose opportunities and security will likely be increased. There's no doubt about it. Opportunities come to those who are ready to take them up. And how are we ready? We're ready in our whole being, in our mindset, because we are continuously investing. Wherever we go, we invest our time, our effort, our talents, our gifts, our resources, and what you reap, you sow. The next, you are the only one whose name is attached to everything that you do. So, in closing, don't go around saying the world owes you a living. The world owes you nothing. The world was here first. I love that saying. It's not the nicest thing to hear, but it's true. The world doesn't owe us anything. We make life what we make it. So be the person who adds value wherever you are, wherever you go. Be the person in your family that adds the most value in that family. If you're not adding the most value in your family, you are a subtractor by default. Sorry, I'm just going to be honest. I didn't come up with that. John Maxwell is the #1 leadership guru in the world, and that's in his book, The 21 Laws of Leadership. So in your family, be the one that adds the most value, not the one who does less and takes more. Give more. In your workplace, whether you're an employee or work for yourself, give more. Add more value. If you have to sit there and sum up amongst all your peers who adds the most value, if you can't absolutely say it's me, then you need to add more value. Don't think that the world owes you something, that they need to add value to you. No. Be the one who adds value to others. That's what leadership is. Leadership isn't a title. Leadership is not a title. It's not a position. Leadership is having a heart of servanthood. And through the act of adding value, we gain influence. It's got nothing to do with the hierarchical structure. That's manager, that's title. You can be anywhere in the org structure and you can influence everyone. Everyone. And you know people like that. They don't have the title, but they're the greatest influencers. Why? People love them. Why? Because somehow, some way, that person adds value to them. So be that person. That's your lifelong quest, is to become the best character, the best version of ourselves, be the best, give our best. And then in closing, I want to say, if you are in a job that you really dislike, and you really wish for a job that you love, because 84% of people don't like their jobs, the only way you can get a job you love is to give 100% plus some in the job where you currently are. If you're going to do the least to get the most where you are until you find something else, you cannot, by law, get the job you truly dream of, because by law, you're giving the least. How can you can only get what you give. You will reap what you sow. It's the law of cause and effect. It's got nothing to do with people's opinion. It's governed by law. So our results, whatever we manifest, is governed by law. We set goals by intellectual ability, but we manifest goals through, it's a lawful process. The law of cause and effect, the law of rhythm, the law of polarity, the law of gender. There's a Meaningful Monday on all the laws, if you want to watch that, how to live in harmony with all the laws. But we manifest by law. So add value, add value, add value. And your success, no matter where you are and what you're doing, will continuously increase and go up. And I think it was necessary to share this tonight, because I remember there was a time I was in a good position in my corporate job. I was in a bad position, but I never had this mindset every day. I was kind of just, doing what I had to do and getting home and thinking about work-life balance nonstop. I just want to know, how can I work less? And I actually went to Orlando and spent a week with John Maxwell, and he was talking about this adding value thing, the whole theme. And I came back with a different attitude, and I behaved differently. I did look for opportunities to do all these things I've just mentioned, and I got a promotion. I didn't ask for or look for one. I'm just telling you, it's a consequence, a natural consequence. Success is a natural consequence of just following these few ways to do the right thing by yourself, and in that way by others as well. So I hope that was helpful at all and interesting. If it was, you can put something in the chat box if you got any benefit out of that. Maybe just a reminder to come back to whatever you're doing with a new energy of giving, as opposed to of what can I get. So what can I give as opposed to what can I get. All right, and then just the events coming up. Just to tell you, all Meaningful Mondays, there's all kinds of topics. This is a really different one. I've never really gone into job success before, just something quite different I thought I'll put up. But otherwise, all the others, a lot of them to do with the Silver Method or other themes like that, you'll find on the YouTube channel Silver Method Australia. And then as for the Silver Method, Silver Life and Intuition 4-day immersion, There are only 2 more events this year. The next one is next week, Thursday to Sunday. That's the September one. And then the very last one for the rest of the year is November 21 to 24. So if anyone is interested in attending, please do book early, because that's generally a sold out event at the end of the year. I don't know why. Most people like to knock that out to close the year out. So just to tell you, if you haven't heard me talk about it before, or this is your first time here and you're wondering what the Silver Method is, you can look on my YouTube channel for a free presentation with some really lovely skills. That's called the 4 key skills to take charge of your life. It's on my YouTube channel. But it's basically a dynamic meditation program. And the good news is, once you've done the 4 days and become a graduate, you have free lifetime review, unlimited for the rest of your life, anywhere in the world. No other program on the planet offers free lifetime review anywhere in the world. So you only pay a small seat charge to review. Okay, and then one of my favorite courses to facilitate is the Louise Hay Love Yourself, Heal Your Life 2-day workshop. If you haven't done it, please consider doing it. If you have done it, consider doing it again and again and again and again, as many times as you can throughout your life. Your life will only improve. Sometimes people want to come and do the Silver Method, but they got some unhealed, we all do, childhood wounds or things that have held us back. We don't love ourselves enough. We don't apply what we learn. You can do the Silver Method, but you don't actually apply it fully in your life. We sabotage ourselves and don't give ourselves the best. We just don't love ourselves enough. So I recommend everybody does Love Yourself, Heal Your Life, and everything in your life will start to improve. And the more you do it, the more it shifts massively to the next level and the next level. So if you have done it, maybe consider coming back as a grad. Okay, and that's in October. And just on a last note, for those people who may not know, I do something called Rapid Results Coaching. These 2 particular techniques is out of a toolbox of 14 tools. But if you have a block that's unknown, you don't know what it is, but this feeling just stops you, or you just can't do this thing, or maybe you want to, I don't know, be a better public speaker and something just blocks you, whatever, this fear, or I don't know, something, you don't know what it is. It's called the Universal Freedom Technique. It's released in 1 session, guaranteed. If not, you don't pay. And the other one is some block in your life that's associated with a memory. I know some people who've gone for therapy for like up to 4 to 6 years, still dealing with some trauma. They do Rapid Results Coaching and it's gone in 1 session. It can't come back. It's a very highly scientific process. So guaranteed, it'll be released in 1 session, as long as you want to release it. Okay, that just says, okay, that's a special offer in my coaching program. I am a coach. If you want to talk about coaching, please contact me privately. Okay, we're going to do meditation now. So what we do in the meditation, if this is your first time here, is you're going to relax. I'll just guide you through it. And at the end, I'm going to ask you 3 or 4 questions to set your intention for the month ahead. So just grab yourself a pen and paper, and in your meditative state, sitting, just be comfortable with paper and pen right in front of you that you can just easily write, and then go back and close your eyes and go back into the meditation. The answers that you'll get will be truth for you. They will be from your intuition. They'll be the right things. They won't guide you wrong. They'll definitely guide you right, especially when you ask questions like this in a meditative state. So this technique is kind of something that we do in the Silver Method. This is just a little bit different. It's just for the month ahead. So I'll put in some music. Are there any questions, by the way? I see there are a few things in the chat box. Any questions before we do this? Mike, I always enjoy your subjects. Let me go to the top. Oh, thank you, Alifia. Anthony, best meaningful Monday. Love the tips. Okay, thanks, Anthony. This would make amazing teachable art morning radio show. Thank you. Andrew, brilliant. Thanks, Janine. I think asking for feedback is such a good one. One of one that probably lots of us don't do often enough. Can be scary, but it's better than making wrong assumptions. Absolutely. And you bond better, you build better relationships when you ask for feedback. Ask for feedback in your marriage. Ask for feedback in your friendships. Ask for feedback with your family. I mean, as long as it's caring and candid, we can always improve. Ask people, how can I improve? How can I be a better daughter? How can I be a better partner? How can I be a better friend? Whatever it may be. Mike, I always enjoy your subjects. Today reinforces things I've learned, helps focus my mind and stay on track. Excellent. Thank you, Nancy and Janine. See you on Thursday. Excellent, Meg. We look forward to seeing you too. Thanks, Janine. Great talk. Wish I didn't miss the start. Ben, it's on my YouTube channel. You can watch the recording. So we'll send that out if you on our newsletter. If you're not on our newsletter, just go to the website, Janine Shuck International, and sign up for the newsletter. We'll send out the link to the recording. Okay. So let's do the meditation. It'll be quick and just relax. The goal is to relax. And then when I do ask you the questions, use your first impression. Can you hear this? Nancy, you can't hear anything. Okay, hold on. Can you hear this now? Great. Okay. So find yourself a comfortable position. If you can keep your cameras on, I prefer it. Then I can just see that if you're writing, because you're going to write at the end, how long the pauses are. Take a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, just relax your body from head to toe. Relax all tensions and pressures from the top of your head, flowing slowly downward, all the way down to your feet. Continue to breathe deeply, slowly and rhythmically, and relax. Become very present and aware of your body. Be aware of your breath going in and out of your belly, of the rise and fall. And just relax. There's nothing for you to do, nothing for you to nowhere to go, so just relax. Now you're going to create in your mind an ideal place of relaxation. It can be real or imagined, somewhere that you've been, maybe somewhere where you'd like to go. Just allow it to be a place where you feel totally relaxed, and just imagine being there now. Imagine it with all your mental senses. What does it sound like? What does it look like? What does it smell like or feel like? Just begin to experience that place of relaxation right now. Now that you've created your ideal place of relaxation, you're going to add a waterfall of white light into the scene. Place it wherever you choose. The waterfall is gentle, allowing and uncascading white light. Healing energy, a clearing energy, Your waterfall of white light is now created. Walk over to the waterfall and stand under the white healing light. Allow the white light to pour over you, to swirl around you, to encompass you within its glow. It is clearing away all the stress, the tension, the clutter of the day, of the week, of the month, of the year, of your lifetime, from your energy field, from your aura. As this beautiful healing white light clears your energy field, just notice how much happier you look. Notice the smile on your face. See how the weights that you've been carrying are no longer a burden. As you are radiating love. This waterfall of white light is available to you whenever you need it. All you need to do is close your eyes and imagine your ideal place of relaxation and immerse yourself in this healing white light. And now take a deep breath in, relax deeper, and repeat these beneficial statements to yourself mentally. Every day, in every way, I am getting better, better, and better. Positive thoughts, suggestions, and images bring me benefits I desire. I will always maintain a perfectly healthy body, mind, and immune system. Now imagine the white light turns to green. You are now immersed in a growing, glowing green light. This green light is unconditional love. It surrounds you. It encompasses. It flows through your entire being. It fills you with love. All those hurts you felt, all those pains you felt, the angry moments, allow this green light, this unconditional love, to heal all those spaces now. You are an amazing human being. You deserve love. You deserve joy. You deserve abundance. And you deserve peace. It is now time to step out of the waterfall. Step out of the waterfall of light. Your energy field is now clean and clear. You feel very calm and centered. Your mind is clear and focused. And you feel that you're in the flow of universal love and energy. Just take a moment to bask in this feeling of connectedness. You have now reset your body and mind for the month. It is now time to set your intention for the month ahead. So I would like you to now tune into your inner wisdom. Just take it for granted that you are tuned in to your own inner wisdom, your intuition, your higher self, any name you want to call it. That part of you that when you tuned in guides you and intuitively knows what is best for you. Take for granted the alignment with your inner wisdom, with your intuition. And now ask yourself the following question and just write down your first impression. Do not analyze it, and just write down a few quick answers and then close your eyes and return to the meditation. The first question to ask: what do I need to focus on for the month of September? And then close your eyes and return to the meditation. Remember to write down anything that comes to mind. And as you relax, here's the next question to ask yourself. What steps do I need to take me closer to what I want to be, do, or have? Write down your first impressions. What steps do I need to take me closer to what I want to be, do, or have? And then relax. Next question. What do I need to let go of? Write down your first impression. What do I need to let go of? And the next question, what do I need to embrace? Write down whatever comes to mind. What do I need to embrace? And then take a deep breath and relax. And then lastly, is there anything else? Anything else I need to know? Anything else I need to do? Is there anything else? And allow a deep breath and relax. Slowly bring your attention back to your body. Gently wriggle your fingers, wriggle your toes. When I count from 1 to 3, at the count of 3, you'll open your eyes, be wide awake, feeling fine, in perfect health, feeling better than before. 1, 2, 3. Eyes open, wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. Okay, welcome back. So if this is the first time you've done that exercise, I just want you to trust your answers and trust that they are the correct thing for you. Do not double guess them. If you were really relaxed, your answers will be truthful for you. So thank you very much for joining me on this Meaningful Monday. It was so nice to have you all here. Just to let you know, next Meaningful Monday, the first Monday of October, it will be postponed for the first time ever by 1 week. I won't be in the country and I cannot do it at this time. I'll be in the North Americas and training. So please just be aware, next Meaningful Monday, we'll send out emails and let you know, will be postponed by 1 week. So it'll be the second Monday of October. Let me just make sure I'm saying the right thing here. Sorry, it will be the, no, it won't be the second. It will be, yes, it will be the second Monday of October, the 14th. The next Meaningful Monday will be the 14th of October. We'll send out emails and let you all know, but I will not be available on that time. Otherwise, everybody, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to stop the recording now. If anyone has any questions, you're welcome to ask me anything at all.